To put on boots, pants, coat, gloves, hood, and a helmet on, it takes a well-trained firefighter just under a minute to get ready to fight in the next fire.
The challenges with my job as a woman is that some of the tools are very heavy, so I find it a struggle to carry them. So in most cases, I end up not able to carry them, so I have to ask my colleagues to help me. And the other challenge is fear for failure. Like every time, like when you get to a scene, like bystanders, public will be looking at you wondering, she's so small, she's so skinny, can she do this? And then it's like, oh my word. This is really scary, but then when they see the effort that you put in and the love of your job, then they start to feel free that I can definitely do it. I don't have to be a man to do the job. Anyone can do it. Strength is in here. You don't have to show it by your hands.
Welcome, thank you so much once again guys for joining us. We have got an exclusive interview today. I've decided to do something a bit more different. We all know that it's still on Women's Month, so we have an important conversation that we'd like to have with one of our station commanders. And her name is Ms. Venter. I'm going to allow her and give her an opportunity to also introduce herself and take us through the work that she does. How difficult is it really to be a firefighter and to direct some of the work that she's working with? So please join me in welcoming Madam Venter. Madam Venter, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you? Thank you.
Good, thank you. I'm so excited that we're here today and you've decided to take the time to share some of your experiences with us. So can you kindly just briefly take us through an introduction, introduce yourself to some of our viewers at home?
My name is Vicky Venter. I've been in the service for 24 years already.
Yeah.
I have started when I was only 19 years old. I grew up in the fire service. My father was also in the emergency services.
Yes.
And he was also a station commander. He was at various stations. So I was a volunteer when I was 16 years old. So I never thought of joining the fire service, but you know, it grows on you. So I joined the service in 1998.
1998, yeah.
Yeah, I was fresh out of high school. Started my career here, and I've been here for 24 years.
My word, such an illustrious career. 24 years in the same environment, doing the environment and bettering yourself. But take me through your relationship with your dad, because you're saying that he was a firefighter and it was easy for you to move because he was doing the work.
Yeah.
What sort of inspiration did you get from him and how did it transfer to what you're doing today?
You know, as I said, I never thought that I would be in the fire service. I had no interest in the fire service because I knew what it was about. And then I started volunteering.
Yeah.
And as I said, it grew on me. My father is my hero. I think every girl, her father is a hero.
Yes,
so he's everything. So, you know, I actually worked with him when I was a volunteer because I was still so young.
Yeah.
And, you know, we are all, at that time, you don't have any qualifications.
Yeah.
You are in your learning process.
Yes.
So then, as soon as I left matric, I started doing temp work, office work. It's not for me. Yeah. I cannot sit in the office.
Yes.
And then my father suggested, you know, why don't you just join the fire service? Because maybe it's what you like. And then my brother was already in the fire service. So
it's a family thing.
It's a family thing, yeah. So I joined the fire service, and
it grew on you. You know, it's not every day is the same.
Yeah.
Every day is different because office work, you do the same thing every single day. With us, it's different. You cannot predict your day.
Yeah.
You cannot say
Like
tomorrow, I
Like
can go do this tomorrow because there's an emergency comes at a minute's notice.
Yeah.
So you cannot predict your day. So it's interesting to not have any clue what tomorrow is going to bring.
Let me ask an important question that so many people sometimes don't want to ask, and it's uncomfortable to ask, but I feel it's Women's Month and it's important that I ask this question. Is there room and a space for women in the firefighting industry? And how difficult is it for women to sort of make their presence known and felt in this industry?
Yes, there is. My point of view, yes, there is. When I started, it was a little bit difficult because it's a man's world.
Yeah.
No, it was a man-dominated industry.
Yes.
And we, the females, we had quite a struggle because they expect so much of you and there's so much pressure on you that you need to show them or prove yourself to them every single day.
Yeah.
All the time. And all the eyes was on you. If there was something that should have been done and they think, oh, the females won't cope, then you have to prove yourself to them. And nowadays it's much easier because there's more acceptance for the female firefighters in the department because there's much more females than there was in the past. And my point of view is male, female, black, white, there's place for everybody. If this is your passion, there will be a space for you.
Yeah. So you have to be passionate. So passion needs to drive a lot of things.
Yes.
That's important. And for women to get in here and to progress, we were talking offline and I said to you, I asked her, let me share this because so many people didn't get that conversation. I said to her, I'm going to ask about women and the place of women. She said to me, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell it as it is. And really for me, that's very important. Is there space for women to progress? Because sometimes now you were saying it's easier for women to come in because there is women, but let's talk about progression. When you look at the men and the women, is there space for women to progress and to get in management?
When we talk about progression, it's not about she's a female or he's a male, they won't be able to do what is expected of them. It's no longer she's a female, she won't be. They don't look at that. You are not a name. You are what you give out.
Yeah.
So if you do not better yourself, irrespective if you are male or female, you are not going to progress to become part of management. If you go out and you do your studies, subsidized education, you go to TUT, you get your degree, nothing will stand in your way. Irrespective if you are male or female, nothing will stop you if you can prove that you want to become something.
I like that.
There's no, in the past, yes, but now
there's no limitation.
No limitations.
No limitation.
Nothing.
And we were talking offline where you were saying the importance of studying.
Yes.
And pushing yourself further. And you were saying the department is taking a role by saying there's subsidies that they can give out for people to study.
Yes.
How important is that?
That is very important. You cannot remain where you are. You need to, there's every single day medicine. There's medicines that come in that you need to study for. And you cannot go study for it yourself because you need the certificate that says I've done this. And the department does not stay the same. Nothing stays the same. Everything changes. Science changes. The way we approach fire incidents change because the nature of the incidents that we have, it changes. Everything develops. Technology develops. So you need to change or enhance your knowledge. So you need to go and further your studies. Otherwise, you are going to be left behind and you will not make it. You do need to refresh your memory every week, yearly, promote yourself or get your knowledge to be much better, because when you go out to a fire, you need to know what exactly is in that fire and how are we going to deal with that fire. Not every fire can be extinguished with water. So you need to exactly know what type of, not what type of water, what method are we going to use to extinguish this fire. You can put water on something and maybe it's not working. So then you need to know, what do I need to do? What can I use to extinguish or alleviate the situation?
I would. This is an important conversation, and as I said, there's a lot of aspects that we're going to deal with when it comes to fire today. I just wanted the madam, because she's also the station commander, to just take us through the journey of women and the progression of women. We are going to be speaking to people who are going to take us through the operational side of what the firehouse does, etc. But from your side, ma'am, maybe a last question to you. And by the way, before we even close this conversation, thank you so much for opening your fire station to us and allowing us to come here. The last question that I'd like to ask to the young lady who's there, who's doing her matric, who's doing her university work, who's about to get done, what advice as a parting shot would you give to them in coming to the department and playing their part as well?
First of all, she shouldn't be afraid, because they say that this is a male-dominated job. This is not. Anybody that's got the drive and the passion to help. You must remember, the first and foremost, we help or assist the community. We are here for the community. So you need to be passionate about assisting the community. And you need to be, I wouldn't say scared of anything, but you should know that we put ourselves in danger daily. And that should not be a hurdle for you. When you get trained to handle every single situation, and do not be afraid to handle each and every situation, because like I said, you get trained to manage and do a certain there's a certain way of doing things. So when you are from the outside, you will say, oh, I will never be able to do that. But we train you, and we build up your confidence to say that I can do this, I can do that. And everybody, doesn't matter what your personal traits is or how you feel, it's your training counts. Your training counts, and that is what you get from experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. As I've said, we are at the fire station, one of the fire stations in Randburg. I'm excited to let you know that the department has also given us the go-ahead to speak to one of the spokespersons who's going to really take us through at an organizational level what the organization does, some of the work, some of the challenges that they face. So without any further ado, I'm going to give her an opportunity for Miss Nana to just introduce herself and let us know what you do. Madam, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And yourself?
Good, thank you so much. Can you take our audience through the work that you do for the department and how long you've been with the department, please?
Okay, my name is Nana Khatebe Khiba. I'm the spokesperson for the City of Johannesburg Emergency Services. I've been with the department for 14 years. 14 years.
Yeah. Blissful? Happy in the 14 years?
Happy, because I've learned so much, I came in as a journalist. Being the spokesperson for the department, you come into a technical field. A field where they have vehicles which you only see on the road, which then you must go do some training to understand what is it that they'd have to go through on a daily basis. And when you see the vehicles, you see a fire engine, you're thinking, oh, okay, they're only dealing with fire. Only when you come in, then you are met with different departments that also make this department work, where you have your fire safety, where they take care of so many things, like your our residential areas, if they are safe, our business areas, the safety of our business areas, and the fire safety element within those departments as well. And operations, where we are at a fire station, where they offer so much as well.
So those are some of the services, just a snippet of the services that you do. I like that we are speaking to someone who's so high up the chain, because now it means we can ask all the difficult questions. Let me throw a spanner in the works. We had a fire in Cape Town where Parliament burst into flames, where we didn't. I don't know if people were saying we were prepared or what, but from a technical or from the level where you sit, how prepared are we if a fire were to go in one of our institutions, to send emergency services there to assist us?
Let me give you an instance of a major fire that we've had in the past, the Bank of Lisbon, where 3 of our firefighters passed away. I don't think you'd have a station that's not prepared. But the dynamics of any building would give you any challenge when you arrive into an incident. The more basic, they'll go in and do their basic firefighting rules, where they check where's the fire, where they have to connect to a hydrant. So those are the basics. But where the fire is, it might be in a basement, and you might need some equipment to ensure that everyone is safe. And you'd also need to prepare. You have your safety officer on scene. You have someone taking care of the fire engine and ensuring that you need the water that is needed, it is there. So there are a number of issues. You can't just say I'm prepared and we are prepared to go into any fire. But as we say, any building would come with a lot of challenges. When it takes 3 days or it can take a day, it depends on the dynamics that you face on that day.
Yeah, sure, which is an important perspective. Let me ask another question to say, when you look at a community, as for argument's sake, maybe Soweto, and it's a big community, what is the ratio? How do you then figure out to say one firehouse that feeds this community? How do you figure out those numbers, and how does it work?
I think as the areas grow, in Soweto alone, we've had Jabulani, Dobsonville, and Diepkloof. We've just had 3 fire stations. But we have seen that there was a growth within the area. Then we'd had to add Protea Fire Station. We have a new fire station that was newly built, which has been there for the past 4 to 5 years, which we've seen that it was a need for a fire engine to move from Jabulani to Protea. It took us longer because we have those instances where we have calls that would have to respond in a certain time, and at the time frame that we were adhering to was giving us a lot of problems. So with Protea Fire Station coming in, we have managed. But we also say vehicles are not area based. We might be in Jabulani now, there's no incident, and you'd find that Maponya Mall is on fire. Then would have to take all those resources to go to and assist in Maponya, and a nearby fire station, in case anything happens, will respond in Jabulani.
And then as a normal, community member, you are in your home and something happens. How do I respond? Do I call a certain number and then say there's a fire? And how does it work? And what's maybe at a basic level to say the response time for us to get assistance when we are in our homes?
We have a call center that we advise people to call, 10177. Most people will be calling 10111, which is a number that would have to be rerouted as well, which gives us, again, you'd look at that response time. When you say call 10111, they're dealing with their cases. The time they take to reroute to a 10177 might take longer. So we have a call center that you need to call.
What's the number again?
10177.
10177.
Yes. I would also say it's better to call that number, even if you live closer to a fire station. Hence I said you might find the vehicle is not there responding to an emergency somewhere. So rather let the people that are in the call center to dispatch a vehicle and deal with your incident at that time.
A challenging question, which now in our country where we find things have gone up, things are so expensive, we've got an issue with people going into jobs and being brought into the job work market, etc. I don't know if you'll be able to answer, but I'm pushing the question to say, in terms of people who want to come into work, what is the prospects of an intake and how does that process work? Is the community advised when the posts are up? How does that process work?
We do advertise positions to say that we'll have an intake of firefighters. But for someone that's coming in who's not a firefighter or a paramedic, I would have to say you would have to be passionate about this job. It's not just a job that you see and say, no, I don't have a job, let me do this. They go into spaces. We've recently had the incident where there was a search for Kayoletu in Soweto. That had to go through the pipeline system, which is a technical side which no one else would do if you're not passionate. If it's just a job that you do, then you'd be in the wrong field. But we do advertise, and we do also take go out to malls with our public education department, just to educate people on and give them interest. Hence, my colleague has said this was a very male-dominated industry, but now it has broadened. There are more women, and it doesn't mean the women lack something. They also have the capabilities as much as men do.
Wow. I like that you are saying it's Women's Month now. It's important that we, motivate and inspire the young ladies and the young females who want to come into the department. So you're saying there's room for women and there's room for women to progress. Maybe as a parting shot from yourself, just give some of the ladies who are at home a bit of motivation from your side, because you are also a female, young, doing the work here. How difficult is it, and is it safe for them to come and do the work?
It's a very safe space, a space where I have seen that most people learn. There are a number of ladies that came into this institution and started as firefighters, and now they are divisional chiefs and running districts. So I would want to see more women coming in and making sure that there are women that are technical in their having that talent of being technical, fixing things, wanting to assist. Being on a fire engine, driving a fire engine, it's something that anyone can do. And if they're looking to be in the space, we will be advertising, and we'll let them know as soon as that happens.
Let me fit one last question, Madam, if you'd permit me. In our communities, we find maybe some of us are living in the informal settlements, in your shacks, etc. How can we assist when there's a fire that has just erupted in our next door neighbor, waiting for the fire services to come and to assist us? What do we do? How do you help the next person?
I have spoken about one of our departments with us, which is public information and education. They all go out to a number of communities. We have a project that we do, which is community emergency response teams.
Community emergency response
teams. It's set teams where we teach communities what to do while they wait for the fire engine to arrive. In that case, we would have a bucket system where we say, keep your buckets with water. Let's have a bucket system. If there is a fire, let's all go out with our buckets, let's hand over, let's try to extinguish the fire while we wait for the fire engine to arrive.
So there's something you can do. You can't just sit and scream and do what? There's something that you can do to help the neighbor.
With the community emergency response team, we have taught them what to do and which numbers to call. So we are confident. We are spreading that project. It is in a number of our communities. We are hoping that by the next 5 years, we would have covered everyone. Communities would know what to do in case of an emergency.
Wow. Ma'am, from my side, really, thank you so much. I feel that there's an important question to be important conversations to be had with firefighters, because you can say to yourself that an emergency will never happen, but one day you'll just find yourself and you won't know what to do. So when the firefighters are in our communities, please let's also play a part, give them an opportunity to teach us what to do, how to respond, and how to assist our neighbors. So from my side, ma'am, thank you so much for availing yourself. I know that you've got so many things that you should have been doing today, but you availed yourself and you had this conversation to us. We really appreciate. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dumelang, bitsolaka ke nna Nelson Maloma Mkhano, ke tswa station 17 Rambek Fire Station. Today re tlo le tlhalosetsa ka fire engine the way e berekang ka ona. So from now ke tlo start on our near side. a re thewa ka reverse because how ba forward the possibility of sleep are ke dintšhi then ke tla starta ka wa passenger side ke taba ya ka mo ke di breathing apparatus tsa rena tse re berekisang go tsena ka re ga mollo. Then from there ke our extrication side more berekisang for di kata di koloi di jaws of life ke tse ra di bona ke di rainbow ke di ziza ke di spreader. Then more na le reciprocating so ra ba le di V-streets tsa go balance koloi ha ile unstable ra ba le di shelter ke ra pension ka mo aro risk a wela ke di itse ka mo le gore di edge tse re khathileng koloi di ska tlhaba batho. This side ke our forcible entry equipment ke di mpazo di pick head di helical tool tsela tsa ke di kharafa ke tsa go rwala whatever bante mo re sanya ke mo strate ra ba le dilo tse ba reng ke di airbag tse black tse le tsona ke tsa go stabilize go le gore e be stable ha le reng uneven slope. So re tla hape mo this is our PP fan. Ha ona le smoke mo ntlo re berekisa yona go cleara gore go be visible ka mare hantlo. Tse ke di step chocks re balance di koloi mo mabiding gore le yona iska move. Ra ba le our hose rail is for normally for grass fire and the vehicle on fire. Re berekisa this one. Then re tla go our pumping operating side mo ile gore re na le di delivery ra ba le di discharge re berekisa this thing or connected hose from here to the fire, then from hydrant re berekisa it to get water from the hydrant. So le yone e operate according to gore di firefighter di nyaka how many bars. These are our branches. Taylor these are from get the hose then at the end it's another connector to grab the different size of volume tsa metsi. Then ra ba le di couplings go connect the hose together. Lady this one are the grass beaters for the grass fire. Then here our toolbox. We multitask most of the time, so get our toolbox. This one hello the hydrant Kenya this into the pool, then connect the hose then get a carburetor cutter or the cutter. Go fella our motor. Our chainsaw. Most of the time service a home light. Local servicing. Go to the department, they are sort of medical. Go to accident, they're not the patient, they're stabilize that patient, they got most of equipment. When the oxygen bottle mola, Ravale Jambegelo reserve first aid kit, then Ravale stabilizing equipment. Then more is our power source for our vergamo lifif. This is a generator. You can light that those floodlights. Some of the equipment there the connector on in this motor. Then more our breathing apparatus get spare. Say Lauren. They had fediler exchange cards until revalent to a track to refill. Then go to get the hose behind. Get the hose, a section, hose, Gaylor and Leonard Cono, Kohamizigo, Demokayona, in a strain again to silver ale. Then could you make different kind of hoses, 65, 38, 100 mils. Then Ravale entering top monitor. Eloren con operator, Gilco Jim, then Gutro Conotimamolo in a long distance. Most of Mapilavato, property Avato, depend on Moyona. Harry Zorita Mirago, our life if alone, nothing else.
Biggest one that we get, macro. You remember that macro there? Clear water. Yes, I was coming from Rodiport on the Bronto, you know the Bronto. Yeah, I was assigned, they say, please go check there. On my arrival, I find Mr. Mishley, who worked also in Rembek, Mr. Malan, the father of Vicky Malan. Yeah, and I find even the group of Baka and other people, they do come there. That was a huge fire.
So how long did it take?
2 days. Yeah. Took 2 days. 2 days hard work. And after that, all the rookies were called there to clean up.
Yes.
Yeah. Because in the fire department, there's a rookie, there are experienced people. Experienced people are always reserved for a real serious fire, bigger scene. But those that are like this lady now and the other boys, they are there to see what really happened here and clean up. Must be by the markets, encourage themselves, tell them nothing that can stop them from doing what I'm doing. Anyone can do it, as long as he be encouraged, and then he learns. You go learn, you practice, then you will be able. Energy.
Firefighter, if you are a platoon commander or a station commander, only challenge here like bontate abahonki serious. If maybe over fire instruction, they don't want to follow. If only like fire, they want themselves in front. When also like because of the abaho trust, they maybe leader or something like that. Ladies who join a firefighter. Kenang spaces a thing, most of what thing monkey so basadi review, so Arba won't say what we can do it. It's not about them, it's about us. We must take the whole world.